Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brandon here for RC Nightmare, and today I'm unboxing for you the G3 EB-4. This is another Thunder Tiger product. We got there, you can see it up behind me there, the G4 monster truck. It's based off the same chassis. We like that so much, and honestly, we've got the Mugen A-Scale buggy. Jeremy and I want to be able to kind of race head-to-head, so we figured we'd pick up another A-Scale. It's one of our favorite things to drive, so now we got something we can both take out at the same time instead of one of us driving and one of us shooting. So this is an A-Scale all-wheel drive electric buggy. It is not waterproof. I know you're going to ask me that right away. Not waterproof, but it is ready to run. All you got to do is grab the batteries. Comes with a 2.4 gigahertz radio, a lot of features. Let's open it up and take a look right away. This is honestly kind of something that's been ongoing for them for a while. They have, I don't know, this is the third series of this chassis now. S3 series. There's a lot of interchangeable parts between the monster truck and the buggy, among other things. Here's how it comes in the box, well protected, well packaged. So we got a radio box here. This is the same radio that came with our MT4, and I like that a lot because we should be able to bind it to that model. If we want to drive, Jeremy want to drive at the same time, we can use this radio, but it does have model memory. It's got to be one of the nicest ready-to-run radios I've seen in a while. Model memory, endpoint adjustments, you can adjust your expo, sub-trim, reverse obviously, digital trims, battery status. I mean, not many ready-to-runs come with a radio this nice, especially model memory. That's a big hit for me. Like I said, we have this. We got another buggy from them we're going to be unboxing for you. It'd be really cool to have them all on one radio. Just easier when you're out in the field not to have 10 radios with you, which frequently we do. So nice radio, 2.4, top of the line. Pull the buggy out here. I think there's going to be some hidden accessories in the bottom. All sorts of goodies. All right, small bag of parts. We got some pin retainers, looks like a drag link, small bag of tools for you, shock accessories. This is your wheel wrench, among other things. These are your 17mm hexes, standard for A-Scale, you gotta see that. And then our bag of manuals and decals, something you only think about once you break it. And this is really cool to see. We have our Dean's adapter. This is a series adapter, so this is made to run two cells right next to each other. This little piece here allows you to attach those guys together if they're the bullet style. So this is made for batteries that have that, I think it's going to be a 4mm or 3.5mm bullet connector already on the pack built into it. This will pop right in there. Genuine Dean's Ultra plug, so they call them Super Deans. Kind of a standard now, again, when you're handling this much power. That's a great plug to have, and it's really cool that they include that. You really will never get that with any other company. Pull the body off here, and you can see the similarities now between this and the MT4. It uses the same big old battery or whole chassis tray cover. It's kind of neat, in my opinion. You pop off these latches. I can show you this. Pop these off. Pop these off. This guy comes out. It's what holds the batteries in, but now everything's exposed. Gives you a little bit of protection. It's going to be easy to cover it up and keep the mud and whatnot out of here. You can see how this is all set up now. Again, genuine Dean's right off the speed controller. This is, they don't say right on it, on our MT4, I think it was a 150 amp speed controller, built-in cooling fan. Very, very cool to see, a high-powered setup. This is the Ripper 2000 kV motor, so plenty of power on a 4-cell. It might sound like a low kV, but when you're pumping, 16 volts through it, that's plenty of RPMs. This is going to be, it's either 32 pitch or Mod 1. I can't tell just by looking at it, but all metal gear. We have a center differential, front and rear differential. They're all metal geared, all fluid filled. We've got a helical cut steel gears on the front and rear diffs. That just gives you more teeth engagement. Really, really strong design. CVDs on the center drive shafts, front and rear. You won't see that very often. On the front and rear axles, CVDs on the front, dog bones on the rear. That's what you expect to see. The front uses pivot ball suspension instead of a caster/steering block design. It's just less parts. It's a simpler setup, just as tunable. Twin A-arms in front, like you see on a lot of A-Scale buggies. Again, more durability, more consistent handling. And then the front pin retainers on this guy here are all aluminum here and on the bottom. Shock towers, aluminum front and rear. A rear pin retainer. That one's plastic, but that's not very surprising. You really rarely see that in metal. Adjustable tie rods all the way around. Of course, they're steel. Adjustment holes, I love to see that. The shocks are all aluminum, oil filled, of course. Already filled for you, set up. I already said you got 17mm hexes on it. I'm looking to see what else I might have missed. The motor mount, a CNC aluminum motor mount. Very nice to see that. It's got to be 5-6mm thick. It's kind of what you see many companies going to. We're pumping a lot of power through these new brushless motors. They're all A-scale. They're putting out, you know, X amount of power. A nice solid motor mount's really nice. Keeps the motor from shifting around, especially when you're bashing it, hard hits. Old motor mount designs just kind of weren't up to the task. It's nice to see. Twin bell crank steering system. This has got a built-in cam style servo saver. I love to see that personally. That's kind of my favorite style. It is adjustable. It's a real solid lock kind of steering, but brakes free and a real hard hit. The steering servo is an S2008 Metal Gear, so it's a high torque Metal Gear servo from Ace RC. Should have plenty of power for this setup. Maybe we'll upgrade that later. Couldn't really tell you right now. See what else I might have missed. I mean, these tires, they're pretty soft. These are pre-glued for you, which is nice, foam filled. Again, but you got so many options when you get into A-scale stuff. So running 17mm hexes, options are unlimited. There's so many different kinds of brands you could run. We got droop stop screws on the front and rear A-arms, so you can set how far this thing's going to let the arms drop. Saves your shocks, gets you a little better, more predictable handling. Just a lot of hardware on this thing. Comparing this to the Mugen, it is ready to run, so it's not like a full-on racing chassis, but it's all aluminum. It's kind of hard to tell when you look at it this way. You have this big tray here, but on the bottom, you can see that the chassis is all aluminum all the way down. And then here we have our gear cover, the skid plate for it, so you don't chew it up. It's really beefy. You can see the size of the arms. A-scale arms are just huge. A lot of meat to them, a lot of plastic. We're hoping this thing can kind of hold its own against our Mugen. We're going to let you know right away as soon as we get a chance to take them both out, give our review on that one. But my initial review is great. I mean, this thing's built like a tank, just like we knew it would be. The MT4 is, again, the same chassis. It's the S3 series chassis. A lot of interchangeable parts there. So we're excited to get it out and run. I'll mention the antenna real quick because we'll get some comments on this. It is 2.4 gigahertz. I know the antenna is really long. This little tip to the antenna you can see here is the only active part of it. So this whole other piece here, this is just a coax cable, extra length. Think of it as like a servo extension. It's just so you can run the antenna where you need to go. But this little piece is all that has to be sticking it up an antenna tube, perfectly straight, ideally up above the rest of the chassis. All the rest of this, though, I can coil up. You don't want to cut it. You know, you don't want to try to shorten it. You just coil it up and only use this little small active part here. As I was saying that, I can see, this is kind of cool. This little coil here in the wiring is what we call a toroid coil or choke coil. When you got these really high-powered brushless systems running really high voltages, there's a lot of noise that can be generated. All this servo wiring can turn into a antenna of its own and kind of pick up on high-frequency, I guess you just call it dirty emissions from the whole system. That can kind of cause some interference issues on the ESC and on the receiver, so that choke coil prevents the servo wires from turning into an antenna, essentially. Kind of cool to see that. I use a lot of those on my aerial stuff, on my helicopters and planes when I'm transmitting video footage. Keeps it cleaner. Just cool to see that. That's kind of a little extra feature you don't usually get, so you know the company really cares about their design. So, pop the shell back on here for you guys. We'll get some close-ups of all this. This is the G3 EB-4 from Thunder Tiger. If you guys have any questions about it, you know what to do. Comment on down below. If you like the videos, like what you see, check out some of our running videos. Please hit the subscribe button up top. While you're at it, check out our website. It's rcnightmare.com. Appreciate you guys watching this video. We'll see you soon.